Good morning, you guys. Today we are talking about how to fix your routine without changing everything. Okay, so often, especially with diet, this is the easiest example to explain it, but you can apply this to any area of your life. How you do one thing is how you do everything, which means if I explain one example, then it can apply to others, and I will do that in the end, okay? So, with a diet, so many people change everything they're eating. I have done this myself. It was like I went on a diet. I didn't like to call it a diet, but what I did was I was eating protein shakes and I went on the Arbonne diet, which they change absolutely everything. You know what I did? I lost 30 pounds. And then guess what? I gained it back and even more. And then I did it again the next year. And that time I only lost 10 pounds. And again, I gained it back even more. Because if you're doing a diet, then maybe you're motivated to do this at first, right? Like I was so excited to be doing this. It's so fun. It's like a cleanse. But then I change everything. It's very hard. You get into the routine and then suddenly you stop, and then suddenly butter tastes so good. An English muffin with butter on it. Haven't had that in a month. You're like, I'm going to eat this forever, every single day because it tastes so good, right? That was my experience, okay? And there's so many examples of this when, oh, the cats are fighting. um, of a diet. There's examples, okay? So, but what is a better way of doing this, and how I've recently lost 20 pounds and kept it off for more than 6 months, is by changing my current. I didn't actually change what I was eating. I just ate a little bit less, okay? So that was a millimeter shift that I was able to change, not change the whole map, just change one little piece of it. And that got me the results I was looking for. And now I'm at a new base. What I'm doing is now, how much I'm eating is now is my new map, right? So I made this millimeter shift. I was eating a little bit less at every meal. And along with that came a mindset. So, what is crucial for this to work is you have to relate it with something that really makes sense in your life. So, for me, my husband and I, we used to eat the same amount. He's a foot taller than me, he weighs more than me, you know what I mean? But we were eating the same amount. Okay, so my mindset shift, where I started to notice that, I noticed, oh my gosh, he should be eating more than me. He's a foot taller than me. I'm like, but we're eating the same thing. If we're eating the same thing, we're putting in the same calories, we have a similar lifestyle, exercise, we always go on walks together, we're doing the same. Why? I shouldn't be eating as much. I don't eat as much. Okay? The mindset was the most important thing, because that's what allowed me, that's what gives you the motivation. When I started the Arbonne challenge, two kitties are right here. I was motivated to try something new. Okay? So whenever we start a diet, please comment if this can relate to you in your story. I'd love to hear it. We are motivated because we want an outcome. We see the goal, we want it, we're hungry for it. So we make a change. But then we're in life. We're on a day-to-day journey and we're struggling. Then suddenly we're out oh gosh, I'm so hungry. You start to get starving. You're like, oh gosh, Taco Bell would be so easy, right? It's our day-to-day life gets in the way because we've changed everything. But the motivation is what I'm talking about here. So the motivation has to be nailed in and fit with a millimeter shift. Okay? So it's been 5 minutes. As much as my millimeter shift was to eat a little bit less, I had to pair it with something that made sense, which was Zachary and I shouldn't be eating the same amount. I'm just going to eat a little bit less than him. Not finish my plate. Okay. So now that is my new map, and now I'm still dealing with problems in this new map, right? So we have to tackle one thing at a time. So now I'm like, what's going to be my next millimeter shift? I actually haven't thought about this yet. So, for the remainder of the video, let's talk about how I'm going to figure out my next millimeter shift. Okay? So in my new world, I do feel like I am on the right track. No, I think that I need more protein, so I'm noticing more things in my life that could be factors. It's like we make so much change and it's working, and then we get into a routine. So the changes I'm thinking about are, I've been doing a cold plunge for 3 months now. We go on walks every day. We've been doing that for a long time. I'm eating less. I'm drinking bubble water instead of like juices. Even fruit juices aren't they're full of sugar. The kitties are gone. So I'm not drinking any, like I used to drink Kerns. I'm drinking bubble water instead of. I love that we don't buy, if you don't buy junk food, then you don't eat it. So we don't have a lot of like chips and snacks in the house. So that means, something that would be good for me is not waiting until I'm hungry to make food. So often I'm like starving. I feel like I'm trying. Zachary's usually the cook and he's really good at it, but that doesn't mean that he always remembers to start making food. So, but I'm like stuck in my work that I forget to eat. You know what I mean? But so that's kind of putting that responsibility on him, and then that means that if I end up being starving, I'm relying on him. So why don't my millimeter shift is to figure out a healthy snack that has protein, because that's what I said already. So if my oh gosh, you guys, this millimeter shift though, I started, like if I was hungry, if I'm starving, then I just drink some water, and I think it's crazy how that works so well. Like I just drink water and then it lasts me, 20 minutes, and then I'll drink a little bit more water until the food's ready. So, but I think it would still be good if I had a healthy snack. Or if I just pay attention to the time that, like, when was the last time that I was eating? I've heard from other coaches, it's like if you can push off, if you eat at 9 a.m., if you can push off eating until 2, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5 hours. I think that's what they say too, 5 hours between. But for me, I'm all about living in the moment, and those things don't, I just feel like it's more of a survival mode when you're like forcing yourself. It's like when you're like, oh, here, look, here's a candy, but you can't have it. Like, oh, it's like, don't think about elephants. You know, that's kind of what that reminds me of is, um, like a temptation kind of, which is just like even harder to, if you're feeling tempted, then that is a hard mindset to um, like force, especially in the moment. It's hard to not be tempted when it's right in front of your face. So if I have a snack that I can make that's healthy, that will be my next millimeter shift. Okay, hopefully seeing that example will help you come up with your next millimeter shift. And I'd love to hear it. Message me, nicolecoachingg@gmail.com. You can email me. Share with me your story or what you're struggling with, and we can come up with a mindset shift that's going to pair with some action. All right. Talk to you later. Nicole Coaching G at Instagram too. Talk to you later.